back to another video. Today we have something that I hope is going to be a quick make and will be nice and cozy for the winter season. I am going to be making the Berta 6718. This is like a hoodie pattern for a men's hoodie. I'm hoping to make a fleece hoodie for my partner because I made myself a really nice oversized hoodie, like one of those really long ones, and I have some leftover fabric, bits of like offcuts and stuff. It would be like a nice little mix and match thing, and it would match mine, and it would be like a really cute thing, especially because Zeus also has a blanket made from this fabric, so the three of us would all have something and it'd be really cute. I'm gonna have to get creative with this. Hopefully this is gonna work out. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I only had a small length of the white fabric still intact, so I folded it on the cross grain and cut out the front and back from this piece. This isn't a super great idea to do with knits, but honestly this fleece has very little stretch in it, so I wasn't too worried about it. The fabric I'm using here is the Minerva Core Range Super Soft Plush Cuddle Fleece in the colors Ivory and Light Green. For full disclosure, I did get this fabric for free to make a video for the Minerva YouTube channel, but this is honestly my super honest opinion on this fabric. I love wearing it. It's soft, it's warm, it's cuddly, and it's kind of heavy in a way that I really like because I find that soothing. And I wear that hoodie I made that I showed you in the beginning of the video. I wear that pretty much every single day after work. What I don't love about this fabric is actually working with it. It sheds so much. You can see little bits of fluff everywhere throughout the video. It's really thick and bulky to sew. It's impossible to unpick, and it's so heavy to maneuver. So all in all, I'm glad that I have the pieces that I made from it, but I'm also pretty pleased that it will finally be out of my sewing room. For the sleeves, I had to do some piecing, but I did try to make it look like it was an intentional design choice and not a mistake. And after I cut the sleeves, I started pulling all the bits of fabric I had left, and I realized that I wasn't going to be able to get a hood or a collar, and I would probably not have enough fabric even for a waistband. So I just cut out a pocket and some cuffs from the green fabric, and I moved on. I kind of wish that I had cut the cuffs from the white to add to the kind of pieced together aesthetic, but honestly, I didn't think of that until I just watched this footage back, so I guess it's fine. To make my life easier and make this jumper a little quicker, I decided to do all the sewing I could on the serger and then only use my regular sewing machine if I couldn't do it on the serger. And I think that was a really, really good decision. But before I could actually, do that, I had to rethread it. If you don't have a serger, you can still sew this in a regular sewing machine, but you absolutely do have to finish the raw edges because although this specific fleece doesn't fray, it does shed, like I mentioned, so it does have to be finished in some way. So the first thing I did here was to sew the sleeve pieces so that I could use them as a single piece. And yes, my serger does seem to be running away from me, and that is because I had the genius idea to add little anti-scratch pads to the bottom of it to make it easier to slide across the desk when I need to use it and stuff, but that does make it easier for it to just bounce around, so you can't win them all. Then I finished the raw edges of the pocket so that I could fold the seam allowance of the side openings to the inside and stitch that down on my other sewing machine. And then I folded the seam allowance in on the remaining edges to the inside. I pinned it along the markings on the front and top stitched it down on my regular sewing machine. Next, I stitched the front and back together at the sides up until the armhole with right sides together. Then I closed the sleeves at the side seams again with right sides together. And before I attached the sleeves to the jumper, I wanted to tackle the cuffs. So first I stitched them together along the short edges with right sides together. Then I folded them with wrong sides together, matching the seam and making sure that the raw edges are even, and then I serged those raw edges. When I'd done both of the cuffs, I also serged the raw edge at the bottom of the sleeves. Finally, I could clip the cuff to the sleeve, matching the seam, and stitch that on my regular sewing machine. It doesn't really matter which cuff you pin to which sleeve, but make sure that you're pinning it to the right side of the sleeve so that your seam allowances will be safely hidden on the inside of the sleeves. Now that's done, I'm going to pin, or clip in this case, the sleeves to the jumper with right sides together, making sure to match that sleeve seam to the side seam of the jumper. and I'm going to stitch those together on the serger. These clips are amazing for working with bulkier fabrics, or actually for sewists who don't really get along with pins for whatever reason. They can really make sewing more accessible, so I would highly recommend you get some. Once I had both my sleeves set in, I went ahead and serged the lower edge of the jumper for the hem and also the neck edge as well. Then I folded that finished edge over to the inside along the seam allowance, and yes, I did do this by eye, and I clipped that in place both at the neck edge and at the hem. All I have left to do now is stitch those on my regular sewing machine, lint roll the absolute hell out of this, and show you the reveal. Okay, so that's the jumper. It's so cute. I really like that kind of ended up looking really cool here with the white. This was sort of unplanned. I didn't really think about it while I was doing it. And that's why I said that I think the white cuff then would have been a nice touch here, but it's fine. The only thing I'm not like super pleased about is the neckline. I feel like it's a little bit too wide, and the hem, I wish there was a little bit more to it. But, you know, considering how much fabric I had and what I was like kind of working with, I'm pretty happy with it. And if my partner doesn't want to have this jumper, then I will happily take it because it's so cozy and so comfortable. He does really like it. He thought it was super cute and really likes the aesthetic of it. But he hasn't tried it on yet, so I don't know if he likes the fit or not. But I will keep you posted on that. I guess I will let you know in future videos once he has tried it on. It came together so quickly. Like, I made this in about 2 hours. I would like to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already and you would like to see more sewing. I usually do more like vintagey and nerdy things. And maybe you can also consider following me on Instagram. I usually post what I'm working on over there, so you can get a little sneak peek. That's everything for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one, which is going to be my pattern organization system. So, bye.